lefty can win a national election in this day and age? A presidential election. Do you think that could happen?
Far left, you mean like AOC?
Yes. I'm just whether it's what you said about Newsom, whether it's an AOC. I mean, do you think somebody like that can win a general election for the presidency of the United States in this day and age? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. The Democratic Party is a ghost brand. You know what a ghost brand is? It's like Sears or, General Electric. It's still a company, Abercrombie and Fitch, but they've really fallen on hard times.
Yeah.
But they've been around for a long time. So there is value. It's an asset, right? Because there are still people who know of the company, and if you could have somebody take it over, who's not sentimental about that company and, relaunch it, rebrand it. But it would have to be somebody who is unapologetic about calling them out. People have lost faith in the Democratic Party for very good reasons.
Bill Maher lit it up on Stephen A. Smith's show, and the conversation was pure fire. The sharp-tongued comedian went in on the woke mob, Hollywood, and Democrats for living inside an echo chamber instead of facing reality. He didn't hold back, blasting the DNC for what he called glaring weaknesses in their frantic push to reclaim the White House. Let's break it down.
Right now, I got to get to my next guest. Oh, he's an actor, a comedian, a producer, a writer, and host of the hit HBO political talk show, Real Time with Bill Maher. The one and only Bill Maher is with me right now. What's going on, Big Time? How are you, sir? How's everything?
I'm not an actor.
Well,
Don't ever call me an actor.
I apologize.
I'm the opposite of an actor, like you. Actors are avoiding the truth and playing parts. We're real and telling what's real.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I correct myself. Thank you for the reminder.
Bill Maher kicks things off by torching Hollywood, accusing entertainment elites of burying their heads in the sand and refusing to face reality. But he doesn't stop there. Politicians get roasted too, with Maher blasting them for sleepwalking through their roles, acting more like performers than leaders, and failing to level with the American people about what's really happening. No passes, no sugarcoating, just Maher calling it exactly how he sees it. And the real sting? It comes when you realize which political party he's really targeting. But before we get there, Stephen A. Smith pressed him on Jimmy Kimmel's big return to late-night television, and Maher's response didn't disappoint.
He insulted MAGA. That's different. And he didn't lie. He said what he thought was true, which I disagreed with. I mean, I gave my spiel about it on the show last week, and, it was basically saying something very different than what Jimmy said. I don't think he got it right. I think he's, quite frankly, in his liberal bubble, which is why, let's be real, those shows are struggling, is because they, I think, arrogantly dismiss half the country. They don't speak to them, let alone for them.
This is why so many people can't stand Bill Maher. He's willing to torch his own side. Unlike late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel, who thrive in a cushy echo chamber. With 95% liberal guests and watered-down conservatives, their shows bleed relevance, alienating half the country and silencing real unpredictability.
And that's a problem. And in the liberal bubble, it had to be someone who was also MAGA, who shot a MAGA guy. My piece was just about how you can't even try to make sense politically of a lot of these people who committed these political atrocities, because they're just crazy. And I wish it was politics. That would make it a lot easier. It's actually nihilism. They don't believe in anything.
Maher nails it when he exposes what liberals really believe. Conservatives are painted as ignorant, backward simpletons with zero respect for life. In their eyes, MAGA supporters are mindless zealots, unreasonable, untrustworthy, and dangerous. That's why Jimmy Kimmel instantly slapped the MAGA label on the perpetrator. It wasn't about facts, it was about feeding the liberal narrative. Maher cut through that hypocrisy with brutal clarity.
They're all over the map politically. They just want you to hurt like I do. And that's where that was. Jimmy had a different take. He's allowed to have a different take. He's allowed to be wrong. So, some of this stuff gets put out there, and then it becomes like the narrative. He lied. He didn't lie. His take was just wrong, in my view. And he didn't insult the person that they were worried about getting insulted. And on that score, yes, I mean, I've been always clear about what I think about it. There's no quarter for people who forgive any kind of political violence. Once you start with, yeah.
Maher doubles down on one of his core principles, freedom of speech, and he makes it crystal clear. No one should be silenced, canceled, or worse, destroyed for having a different opinion. That's not America. This country was built on open debate, free exchange of ideas, and the right to push back without fear. We don't burn people at the stake for disagreement. We argue, we challenge, and we counter with facts and common sense. Maher's point lands hard. Democracy thrives not on conformity, but on the clash of differing views. And if we lose that, we lose the essence of America itself.
How did you feel about Trump's reaction to Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air? And his reaction, the first words that came out of Trump's mouth is that it was the left. And obviously when Jimmy Kimmel said what he said, Trump wanted him pulled off the air, even though it was the FCC chairman that really went about the business of making threats along those lines. What were your thoughts about all of that?
Unsurprised. I mean, come on, Donald Trump's been on the stage a long time. You always know he's going to go 100 miles an hour in that direction. You know, he is an actor who commits to the part. Man, does he talk about actors, as long as we're on that.
That's right.
Maher pushes back on the idea of Trump as some actor. To him, Trump's the real deal. No mask, no hidden script, no staged performance. What you see is what you get. And that raw authenticity is exactly why his supporters ride so hard for him. He's not trying to impress Hollywood or the DC cocktail circuit. Meanwhile, the left parades career politicians and media darlings who thrive on polished theatrics and empty pandering. Shows carefully crafted for applause, but empty of truth. Maher's point cuts deep. Trump may not be perfect, but at least he's real. And in today's political circus, authenticity is rare. Funny enough, that's the same crowd suddenly screaming about free speech.
But I will ask you this. When you look at Trump and some of the things that he says, what are you more concerned about in this day and age, Bill? Is it how the right feeds off of what he says? Or is it how the left reacts to what he says? What has you more concerned at this particular moment in time as we just purview the landscape, look at our country and the state of affairs that's going on around here?
Well, I love it that you always, like what you were just saying before I came on about free speech, and you said, well, you know, let's be honest, the left sort of courted this a little bit because they weren't exactly champions of free speech. So you always have to look at that. I mean, I know that the woke people don't like it that I do that.
Let's be real. The left only screams about free speech now because they're out of power. When they held control, they silenced dissent, pressured social media to bury inconvenient truths, and weaponized cancel culture against anyone who dared push back. Now that the tables have turned, the hypocrisy is deafening.
To me, the Democratic Party is a ghost brand. You know what a ghost brand is? It's like Sears or, you know, General Electric. You know, it's still a company, Abercrombie and Fitch, but they've really fallen on hard times. But they've been around for a long time. So there is value, right? Because there are still people who know of the company, and if you could have somebody take it over, who's not sentimental about that company, and you know, relaunch it, rebrand it, but it would have to be somebody who is unapologetic about calling them out. People have lost faith in the Democratic Party for very good reasons.
Bill's right. The Democratic Party today is a ghost of itself. Hollow, uninspiring, and leaderless, it clings to recycled slogans and failed playbooks. No vision, no energy, no bold direction. Unless it snaps out of this zombie-like drift, the party isn't just fading, it's marching straight toward extinction. And here's where Maher shows a crack in his armor. Sure, he's biased. His soft spot for Gavin Newsom is obvious. He admires him, defends him, even roots for him. But when it comes to recommending Newsom for president right now, Maher just can't do it. And that speaks volumes. Newsom isn't just another Democrat. He's tied to the very system that helped derail the party's momentum. Factor in his shaky California record, homelessness surging, taxes climbing, businesses fleeing, and suddenly that shine looks more like tarnish. So, if even Gavin Newsom's loudest cheerleader can't sell him as the man to resurrect a dying Democratic Party, why should anyone else? AOC and the far left may excite Gen Z and dominate social media, But that doesn't equal electability. As Maher points out, popularity isn't power. Loud voices and viral clips don't win national elections. Broad, grounded messages do. And right now, the far left simply doesn't have that. The left has hit a breaking point, and if they ever want to win again, they must cut ties with the far left fringe. AOC-style politics may thrill activists online, but it alienates middle America, the very voters needed for victory. Politics is about coalitions, not purity tests. Unless Democrats leave their ideological bubble, reconnect with everyday Americans, and prove they can govern with pragmatism, they'll keep losing ground. Maher's takedown is a brutal wake-up call. The Ghost Party is drifting toward extinction. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.